perfect. And I remembered to record because that's always the first thing I forget to do. Okay, so for those watching the replay as well, I've remembered to record for you. Okay, so welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining me today on this fairly sunny, actually, for us here in the Whitsundays, Sunday morning. So I do truly appreciate your time, and I know that that is your most valuable resource. So I'm going to try to jump in and move through this. Anyone that has jumped into one of my workshops knows how completely AWOL I can totally go. So I'm going to try and stay focused on, there we go. Try and stay focused for you, and then please ask questions along the way. So I've got the chat box open, so if you have any questions, jump in, type them in. I'll try and answer them along the way. If I don't, or if I miss them, then I will jump in and answer them at the end as well. So let's dive in, the masterclass, Holiday Health Mastery. I'm excited for this one because it's one I haven't really shared before, although it's so intertwined with everything that I teach. But I want to emphasize that health gets to be easy all year round. And when you have these strong foundations in place, it really does become so a part of who you are that life doesn't feel like it gets totally turned upside down at this time of the year. And I also want to point out that I love Christmas. So I love getting caught up in all of the Christmas festivities, the street fairs and things where there is completely nothing that is whatsoever healthy to eat in those kind of environments. So I wanted to share with you how some really cool tips, strategies on how to stay healthy over this time of year, or to create health over this time of year. But also, as always, comes back to those really key foundational components. So let's jump in. We're going to work through it. Make sure you grab a pen and paper. If you don't already have one, grab a pen and paper because you're going to need it. We are going to get interactive and we're going to work through this. So from today, I want you to walk away from here with real value, actionable items, tools and resources to keep using them, and also to feel inspired to follow through. So I want you to imagine the possibilities along the way, and then we're going to create the action items that link in with that. And we're going to simplify those actionable items so that they become foundational healthy habits. So that is my goal for you today. Despite this being a free masterclass, I want you to get excessive value out of it. So again, jump in and ask me questions in the chat box along the way. I can't believe how much my little family has grown over this past year. That photo is only from last year, and my gosh, they seem so little compared to now. Okay, so in case you don't know me or haven't joined one of my workshops before, or have only been following me along on socials maybe for a little while, or a friend has shared this for you, I'm your host, Ash. And most importantly, I'm an empowered mama to 3 little boys, like you would have just seen, Cody, Cooper, and Dylan. They are 8, almost 6 in a couple of weeks, and 2. So as you can imagine, life is totally crazy with them. If you can imagine what life would be like with 3 boys, times it by 1,000%, and that's pretty much what my day-to-day life is like. The constant, please stop riding your bike inside the house, the scooters, the footballs, motorbikes, all the typical boy stuff. So you'll see them sneaking into the back of or in my socials because I'm all about real life. And also I am a wife, so you'll see Matt creep in, poke his head in quite often as well. And I usually hope that he's got clothes on, because how many times I've had to say, hey, I'm recording live, and he's actually taking clothes off in the background. A health coach, personal trainer, I am, and I own a health and fitness studio here in the Whitsundays with my husband. And we are actually in the middle of a revamp of moving premises at the moment, and we are turning our fitness studio, which will still have that component, into a whole performance and recovery center. So this is super exciting. So you can see how this just weaves into so many elements of my life. I'm a women's health specialist and also essential oil and low tox living educator. So again, just all of the elements of health. And creating ease and flow around a healthy lifestyle for busy women. I'm also a problem solver, a lover of all things health and natural. I'm an investigator, and I thrive on building up and celebrating other women's achievements. That's a whole lot of me in one paragraph. I'm super passionate about simplifying health. So this seriously lights me up. And as you can see here, when it comes to the simple shifts that you've made, and you send me a message and tell me about that, you truly can guarantee that you're in my gratitude journal for that night. I love hearing about the simple things, like even through this whole masterclass, if you get one thing, one light bulb moment that you just like, it makes sense, one simple thing that you can do that completely shifts and changes the momentum of your life. Oh my gosh, my day is made. My life purpose is just done in that moment. Okay, so enough about me. What we're going to cover today, we're going to define what you really want. Okay, so we're going to walk through then how to achieve that and the different components that will make that up. We're going to get clear on who she is. So those things that you want to achieve, who is she? Who are you? Who do you need to be to achieve those things? Because that is truly what it's all about. It's when you create that shift around who it is that you need to become, everything else will fall into place. Let's connect where you are now and where you want to be. So we're going to close that gap, the action items, the things you need to do to close that gap of who you need to be. Let's create some magic. So what needs to happen? The who, the how, the when. Okay, so, do you need someone to help you? How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? We're going to put it in your calendar. Okay, so have those ready as well, whether it's digital or you're a pen to paper person like me. I love pen to paper. I have my online calendar because I have to, but I love pen to paper. We are going to also then go through the foundational healthy habits that align with who you desire to be. And we're going to be her now, like from this moment. Let's overcome the hurdles, plan and prepare. So yeah, we're going to go there. All the excuses, fire them away. You're going to write them all down. You're going to throw them at me. So if they're excuses that you've tried to work through before, or they just keep coming up year after year, you keep hitting the same roadblocks, the same hurdles, we're going to jump in and have a chat about those, and we'll do a little bit of live coaching if there's any of those that we need to work through. And then how you're going to stay on track. So we're going to make sure that you can stay on track and keep going. So come January, you're on fire. You get to elevate then. You get to take it up next level. You can, then really start to dial in some of those amazing habits. And so you'll end next year and even better. Okay, any questions so far? We're good? Awesome. Okay, so what you're going to learn. Clear goals of what you're working towards without the overwhelm. Okay, I want you to feel confident as you walk away from this masterclass. If you don't, we're going to jump in the chat. We're going to work through that. So I want you to walk away feeling clear, feeling that clarity. Okay, know where you're going and who you need to be. We're going to create that action plan to up level. So actionable, simple, and achievable steps to move towards those goals. So you're going to have that there ready. So you're going to walk away right now and you know what you're going to do today or tomorrow. Confidence to follow through. I want you to feel confident. I want you to have the tools, the resources to follow through and to trust yourself, because building that self-trust is so important. If you are constantly telling yourself you're going to do something and then you don't follow through, you are training your brain to not trust yourself. So we need to build that trust again. So for some of us, that actually might be a big step. So that's something that I'm actually working on at the moment. There's a particular thing that I keep saying to myself I'm going to do. And every night I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So we are going to retrain the brain. Okay, and be sure you stay to the end. I do have a couple of little extras for you at the end of this masterclass. So I will be throwing in a bonus recipe pack, which you'll need to be here or just follow along. Click it. I'll send you the email at the end of the masterclass if you're still here at the end. And also, I'll touch a little bit about the Powerfully You 6-week mentorship. So if that feels right for you, you'll be able to work on that. But I'm just going to share that about that at the end. Okay. All right. So grab your pen and paper. Let's start. We're going to start with, what do you truly want? Okay. So what made you click on this on this masterclass? What made you click, go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I need this. I need the support to stay healthy over Christmas. All right. So describe your ideal holiday season. Let's start there. I'm going to give you a moment for each of these, and you can read through and move on if you need to. So the first one, describe your ideal holiday season. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Is it, do you want to step away from all of that busy and the overwhelm, and do you want to enjoy the holiday season? Does it feel, what would be your ideal holiday season? Is it with family? Is your family stressful and you'd actually prefer to have less of them in there? Describe what that feels like, what it feels like with your family, what your work life feels like over that holiday season. Would your ideal holiday season be not to be working, or to be cutting back, to be minimizing how much work you do? Let's describe that in detail. Then we're also going to move on to the next one. So if you're still doing that, keep doing that. What do you want to feel throughout the holidays and come the beginning of January? How do you want that to feel? So as you step into January, are you someone that is always listing out, or like come January, like, yeah, my New Year's resolution, this is this, or anything like that? Or is that something that you want to be able to let go of actually and head into January feeling like you're already on top of your game and now you just get to be better? Do you want to come to the beginning of January and thinking back to last year, did it feel busy? Did it feel overwhelming? Did you feel like you were chasing your tail already? What do you want that to feel like? And then what do you want to actually achieve or maintain? So what is it that brought you maybe to this workshop? I'm just going to put an extra light on here. What is it that you want to achieve or maintain? Do you want to be able to maintain better health over holidays, progress and take steps? So you want to be realistic here as well. So if you're saying that you, what do we go here? That's better. What do you want to achieve and what do you want to maintain? So do you actually want to maintain throughout this holiday season where you're at now, or do you actually want to have better fitness, better overall health, better mental health, better, what is it? If you could pick one thing, okay, because again, we don't want to walk away from this feeling overwhelmed, or like we've got these big goals that we're going to hit by the end of the year and we've only got 8 weeks, okay? What is it that you want to achieve or to maintain? What is going to be your main priority? The beautiful thing about that is too, when we pick something that we're focused on, everything else, it creates this momentum. So everything else then falls into place. Everything else will start to support that, or that will flow over and start to support other areas of our life. Okay, so we can stay focused on one thing and still have multiple outcomes. What do you really truly desire? So are these your beliefs, or are these beliefs that you've maybe picked up from childhood, from people around you, stories from your family? What is it that you truly desire? So for example, one for us is like, or one for me personally is when I look at my values and my actual, this flows over to another one, but another question, but when we look at our family values, we are quite minimalistic. We are like, we really value health, we really value wellness, we value outdoor activities and things like that, and living a low tox lifestyle. So we truly desire to stay in alignment with that over Christmas, so that doesn't just go out the window. Now also I want you to know that this is us, this is me, 10 years into this journey. So don't compare your day one to my 10 years. So 5 years ago we were on this journey, but come Christmas time it would all go out the window. So the kids would still get all of the presents and all of the things like that. There was a misalignment there, right? So over the last couple of years, that has started to, the gap between our personal values and beliefs and this time of year over Christmas has started to close. And so now we the kids don't get a bunch of plastic toys and things that are toxic. And if they are gifted those kind of things, we don't use them just because they're gifts. So bath bombs is a classic at this time of year for kids, things like that. So we still hold true to our values and our beliefs at this time of year. And it has taken time, but we've built so much confidence around that as well, that we feel okay to say, oh, no, thank you to events or to certain things that we usually would say yes to just because, or the gifts or the things like that. So even with my family now, we don't do the whole, presents for everyone. And this isn't for everyone, okay? For some people, that like the physical present giving and things like that is in alignment. So for us now, we've actually like taken the initiative to step back and like say to, I've got three sisters who, two of them have kids, and we would actually say like, okay, we don't want lots of things. We don't want the kids to have lots of toys and things like that. I'm happy to, like, for some people, gift giving is their love language as well. So I can appreciate that because I do love giving gifts, but I also don't want to give just things that become mess and clutter. So I will say, like, if you want to get the kids gifts, this is what, this is what they need, or this is what they're liking at the moment and things like that. So we bought the kids a big, hopefully they can't hear, big playground for Christmas. And I'd given my mom a couple of the accessories that they would like for that, instead of just getting a bunch of plastic toys that is completely out of alignment with like the toxicity and things like that for us in our home. Okay, so what do you truly desire? And then, who is she? So, for this part, what does she prioritize? Spelling error there. What does she prioritize? How does she feel? Get clear on who you want to be. Okay, so this kind of goes in flow with that previous one. So what is it that you truly desire, and who are you when you are at that goal? So if you put yourself into the shoes of, you've already achieved these goals, you're already where you truly desire to be, you're in that January. So in that January, you've hit all your goals, you're where you want to be, you feel that way you want it to feel. Now, who is she? What does she prioritize? What has she prioritized? How does she feel? Get really clear on who you want to be. What does she wear? How does she speak? All of these kind of things. How is she showing up for herself? What kind of habits does she have? Okay, what does she say? And then moving into the next question, what does she say yes and no to because she wants to? So come January, she's feeling amazing. Why does she feel so amazing? Why did she hit those goals? Because she said no to a couple of those events, but she also said yes to the events that she wanted to go to, and she had so much fun at them. She loved spending time with the people she chose to spend time with. She said no to the people who are draining her energy. And that doesn't mean you have to say like, no, or cut people off in a horrible way. We could just say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really maxed out at the moment. Or, there's ways that you can still be really kind, but true to yourself. Your true self is kind anyway. So, why is this important to you? So this part is important because it helps us to stay focused on that. So why is this important to you? What's the bigger picture? What's the bigger picture around why is it important for you to stay healthy over Christmas? What does that mean for you for next year? What does that mean for you for tomorrow? What does that mean for you on your bigger life goals? So, it doesn't have to just be about health, because this then flows over to all areas of your life. So why is it important for you to, stay healthy and feel energized come January? Why is that important to you? Because you've got some big business or career or goals for next year, and you need to be on top of your game. You want to feel amazing. You want to set a good example for your kids, doing that. Why is it important to you? And what will happen if you don't? If you don't, what does January look like? Are you in the same position next year as you are now? That you're not moving forward, you're just still. Because if we're not growing and if we're not moving forward, we may as well be dead. We're not moving. So when you're not moving, that's considered going backwards. You're either growing and moving forwards or you're moving backwards. So just being still, being stuck, staying the same, that's moving backwards. There's no neutral. Okay. You can feel free to, if you want to take a screenshot of that and come back to those later, you can, or you'll have the recording. So you'll be able to come back and work through this again. These are the kinds of questions I actually come back to often. So I'll come back and do these again in January for my next quarter, for my next 3 months. Okay. You are ready to, this is you. So we've worked through that. This is you. You are ready to feel confident, energized, and nourished all year round. Make healthy choices easily that move you towards an insanely amazing life that creates opportunities for more health, wealth, and time. Because when you are feeling your best, when you have that brain clarity, when you're feeling energized, those opportunities pop up and you can grab them. You've got the time, you've got the energy, you've got the resources, and you're ready to go. If you don't have your health and you don't have that mental clarity, those perfect opportunities for you that arise, you can't take them, or you try to take them and it doesn't work, or it feels hard, or it's not there. You don't get to grab hold of those opportunities and run with them. And 3, you have strong health foundations. You're ready to have strong health foundations that you don't have to think about because they feel so good. They just become who you are and so ingrained in your daily life that you're ready for anything. Okay, so let's go on a little journey. I want you to imagine what it would feel like to have more space, more time, more mental capacity and freedom in your life. So if you like at this moment, just take a second to close your eyes and I will talk you through this part. So truly imagine, close your eyes and visualize what it feels like to have more space, more time, more mental capacity and freedom in your life. What does it feel like to have more energy, to do the things you desire to do on a daily, weekly, and whole life big picture? What does it feel like to get up every morning and chase your dreams, to be working towards them, to be excited to get up and move towards your dreams, do the things that you want to do without worrying about what other people are saying, what other people are thinking? It doesn't matter. What does it feel like to wake up feeling energized and rested, ready to take on the day? So physically and mentally. To not feel afraid of what might happen or worry about the small things. To wake up feeling unafraid. To wake up feeling confident that everything is working out for you. What would that feel like? Have that confidence that everything is working out for you. To get to the middle of the day, to get to that late afternoon and feel confident, still feel confident that everything is working out for you. Not just in the morning when it's quiet and you have the time, when all the chaos around you is happening, to in that moment still feel confident that everything is working out for you. What would it feel like to feel held and supported by empowering women who are also up leveling their life? To have that, to be surrounded by those kind of people. And if there was anything in that, grab your pen and paper and note it down. Scribble it down so that you don't forget that feeling right then. Okay, let's go from overwhelmed to energized with ease. Are you ready? Okay, this is your roadmap for holiday health mastery. Let's close the gap. Okay, where are you now? So we've just gone through what we want, what goals we want, what we want to achieve, what that's going to look like, who we need to be. Okay, so where are you now? Grab the pen and paper, draw a line. Okay, where are you now? What does it look like now? Okay, what does life look like and feel like? What does it look and feel like now? And what does it look and feel like moving into the next couple of months? When you think about the next couple of months at the moment, what does it look and feel like? What concerns you most? So specifically at this time of year, what feels hard? What's concerning to you? Perhaps it's the being out and about with lots of people. Maybe it's the being presented in social situations where you know that health is going to be really hard, and maybe it's the alcohol, it's the food, the things like that. Maybe it's the overwhelm, maybe it's the financial burden of all of that kind of stuff. What does it look and feel like at the moment? Or what concerns you? Okay. Now, open your calendar if you have that handy or with your pen and paper. What is it currently filled with? What does your calendar look like? What's it filled with? Have you got, or maybe you don't have a calendar or you haven't filled it with anything yet and it's looking like overwhelmed because it's all in your head and it's not out on paper or online. You don't have it there to visually look at. It's all in your head. If that's the case, get it all out on paper. You're going to, after this masterclass, you're going to find all those invitations, those Facebook invites to the events, all of the things, okay? All of those, again, Facebook events or physical invitations of what you actually want to do and all the things you've been invited to. Okay, so you're going to look at those, look at all of the events, or daily things that you're doing. So whether it's kids after school activities, whether it's your own after work activities, maybe it's your working roster, what that looks like. Okay, so what is filled in that calendar? Okay. Now, does this calendar that you're looking at now, your current calendar, does this align with who you desire to be in that previous slide? Slide 7. So in your workbook, this person of who you desire to be in January and your calendar right now, are they in alignment? My guess is probably not quite, because that's why you're here. And if it is, like, go you. If you're just here for the few extra tips and strategies coming up, awesome. So what does this look like? Where's the gap in these? Okay. So you're going to take a time, whether it's a quick cross off now, but likely you'll need to schedule a bit of time after this masterclass to actually look at that and fill it in. And we want that calendar. We want your calendar. I'm going to check in with you, actually. I'm going to send you out an email because I don't have all the phone numbers. I'll send you out an email and I'm going to expect a reply. I want you to take a moment to align this calendar. Here you go, with who it is you desire to be in January. Okay. So what needs to be added as a priority and what needs to go. So you're going to look at that calendar. You're going to assess, okay, what events do you actually not want to go to or are going to be too much that you know? What events do you really want to go to? How can we make that happen? What are the daily things that are in there? So the work priorities. Is there too much of that in there? Is there not enough in there? Let's have a look. What have you scheduled your personal health stuff in there? So are your workouts in that calendar? Because if your workouts aren't in there, they need to be, or they won't happen. So what needs to go in there? What needs to go and what needs to be put in there? Are there daily habits? Is there self-care in there? Is the meal prep in your calendar? Okay, are those things that need to close the gap for that girl in January, that woman in January that is empowered, that feels amazing, that is lit up, that is not feeling overwhelmed and stressed because she did these things? She took the extra time to plan, to prepare. What did she do? Okay, what was in her calendar? Okay, now planning for success. Any questions so far? Drop them in the chat box for me. Also, I've just taken over the chat box. Okay, so plan for success. So what I often see when I'm working one-on-one with women is the confusion around planning and assuming that it takes too long, that they don't have time, that it's too structured, and they feel like they don't have enough spontaneous stuff. Like there's no time for spontaneity, that it doesn't create the freedom because it's too structured and it creates too much rigidity, and there's too much planning, there's too much to do in there. But when we plan properly and prepare properly, actually the complete opposite is true. Because when we have what needs to be done in there, it gets done quickly, efficiently, it's done on task, and then it creates so much time freedom for the rest of our week. So I get it a lot with the meal planning or the meal prep and things like that. And quite often in the messages, because I'll get people that are like, what's your meal prep for tomorrow on a Saturday? Because I know I usually prep on a Sunday. So I love to get, what's your meal, what are you planning for tomorrow? Meal planning. But also I get then after I've posted about that, that I have so many messages from people saying, oh, I wish I was that organized. I'm like, I wish I was that organized to be able to just wing it on a daily basis. I'm like, that takes so much organization to be thinking, planning, buying, prepping, like creating meals like every day. I'm like, that takes a lot of mental capacity for me. And that would be quite stressful. So not for everyone, but when we create that, take that time to plan and prepare, it creates so much more freedom for the rest of our week. It helps to also keep us on track. So I use a weekly self-assessment, which I popped in the end for you, where I actually just take a moment at the end of the week to recap what my week looks like, what felt hard, what I'm working towards for the following week, and then I can stay focused and keep moving forward, and I'm on track. And I get to the point where things just get so spiraled and out of control that with my health and life, that then it feels so hard and I feel like I'm starting from scratch all over again. Okay, so we want to prevent that from happening. All right, so planning. We're going to look at what, who, how. Okay, so let's plan. We've got that calendar there. We've got this girl in January and she's killing it. She's amazing. She's so empowered. She nailed this whole season. So let's plan for that. What needs to happen for us to get there? Okay, to get to her, to be her right now, what needs to happen? Does she need to meal prep? Does she look at her calendar? Are you looking at your calendar now and go, okay, I've actually got quite a few, or I've got that work party, that work Christmas party on that Saturday night. I usually meal prep on a Sunday. I know I'm going to have a few drinks. I'm likely going to be hungover. And I'm probably not going to feel like meal prepping. How do we plan for that? Okay, so this is where we want to be adaptable. We want to plan for that by doing our meal prep on the Saturday morning, or on the Friday, or on the Thursday even. We want to do that meal prep before, so that come Sunday, when we're feeling a bit average, we've got healthy options to reach for. You know, we've got healthy sausage rolls to reach for, you know, healthy options to reach for. So whilst we might have an event where we can let ourselves go, it doesn't then create 5 days of binging and like complete chaos and no movement, and everything goes out the window and just keeps creating this cascade of downward spiraling or momentum. Okay, how can we stop that? How can we intervene that from progressing? So it was one event. We do whatever we want. We enjoy that event because we've planned for the next day. That recovery is going to be fast tracked. I'm going to be able to recover on the Sunday really well because I've got healthy options to nourish myself with instead of reaching for crapper options. I've already prepared my meals for the next few days. So then I'm not preparing Sunday, and then Monday I'm still struggling and I'm still reaching for on the go stuff because I didn't prepare. Okay. So how can we plan for the changes or the different things that are out of the ordinary or out of our daily routines over the holiday season? Okay. Can we have alternative drink options? If you know you're going somewhere, if the cutting back on the alcohol or not drinking over the holiday season is one that you want to do, like a goal for you, how can we make that easy to achieve? Okay, how can we make that easy to achieve? So can we have other drink options instead? Are there other, can we mix up some really delicious mocktails pre-done, ready to go? Okay. Can we have those recipes ready to go with the ingredients? All right. Can we have, kombucha on hand? There's some amazing flavored kombuchas that we can drink instead. Drink them out of a wine glass, champagne glass with kombucha. If you know that you're going to be peer pressured into things. So for me, this isn't an issue, but I know it used to be an issue for me was the peer pressure, because I did have a lot of friends that drank a lot and things like that. And as I was moving away from that, it was hard to navigate. So I would drink things like kombucha in a champagne glass, and I loved it. I felt amazing. I felt great. I still felt like I was enjoying myself and in those friendship groups. But I was being in alignment with myself. Now I can easily say, oh, no, thank you. But I still enjoy drinking kombucha out of a champagne glass because it feels nice. Okay, so what is it? What do we need to plan for? What are the action items we need to do? So I want you to list those and have them ready to go so you can start actioning them now. Now, is it that you're going to move more over this holiday season? You're going to get up, you're going to move more, you're going to create good movement habits, or you're going to implement exercise? So do we need to set alarms for that? Are we going to optimize our morning habits? Are we going to get up first thing in the morning and we're really going to dial in on those morning habits? So what is your goal? What is it that you need to achieve that? And what is it that now you need to action to achieve that? So do you need to set morning alarms? Do you need accountability friends? What is it that we need to plan for? How do we plan for that? And when is it going to happen? So now we need to put those into the calendar as well. So put those extra or earlier meal prep days times in the calendar. Put those drink options, creating those drink options in the calendar or on the shopping list. Okay. Oh my gosh, I've got a spider just like crawling across my screen right now. Sorry, random. Do we need to get an accountability friend? Like right now, send her a message. What is it that we want to achieve when put it in the calendar? Okay, get it in the calendar. You get to be the how behind your wow life. Okay, you're the how. It's time to take radical responsibility for that. All right, how are we feeling? Is this helpful so far? Awesome. Okay, so the foundations for long-term success. So we've got that, the kind of the bits and pieces around the holiday season, but we want to really anchor these into long-term success. Okay, so your health journey, the transformation that you get through each of the stages of your health journey is going to be correlated between did I get all of those? The planning was supposed to be on the next page as well. It's going to be directly correlated to the planning, the support, and the continued growth along the bottom. And this is going to keep your transformation keep moving along. Because what we want to do is we want to be able to have this baseline level of health that we get to keep elevating. So we have this baseline expectation of what our health and wellness should be like, okay? What our energy levels are, what our sleep quality is. We've got the baseline for that. So when we drop below that baseline, we can easily go, well, something's off, let's fix it. We can adapt quickly, we can problem solve quickly and go, okay, I'm really struggling with energy lately in the afternoons. What's going on? Okay, can problem solve, because you know that this is below your baseline, right? So we want to create that base. We want to get that baseline quite solid, like really good. But then we want to elevate it. So then we expect more from our baseline. So then when that baseline drops, we can pick it up quicker. We have a higher level of expectation of baseline health for ourselves. And when we solidify that and it's a strong foundation, we get to step it up again. We get to add new things or drop off things that are no longer serving us, switch them around, and it becomes easy. So here we want the foundations for long-term success. So the foundations for elevating our baseline level of health, okay? And that is our healthy habits. So our daily healthy habits that are aligned with your goals. So I hear a lot about, like, I'm all for morning routines, night routines, like daily habits, like it's my jam, okay? And I love working with women to like really dial those in so that they're effective and efficient. They need to align with your goals. There is no point working through my morning routine if your goals are way off. If you don't have kids, if you're not starting work at 5:30 in the morning like I do, my morning routine is going to look very different to yours, okay? And if my goal at the moment is to elevate my business, I've got some big business goals, and yours is to reduce overwhelm and create more calm in your life, your morning routine is going to look very different to mine. And my different seasons, and we want those goals to adapt to your seasons of life, okay? So I know, okay, I might have some big like business goals. I know though that is only my priority for 1 month, for 3 months, that's my focus. I have a bit of a guide on how long that's going to be for, because if that's my focus and that's how my morning routine is going to look, I also need a season where I'm prioritizing the calm, the slowdown, the solidification of that growth. So your morning routine and your daily habits are going to look different through different seasons of your life. If you've got young kids, that morning routine is going to look very different to if you don't have kids, or if you've got teenage kids, that morning routine is going to look very different to having young kids, okay? So we want your daily healthy habits to align with your goals, okay? So getting really clear on these, what your goals are, and how that is going to play into it. So we're going to have the foundations that probably don't change. So things like, for me, okay, brushing your teeth. That's a daily habit that's not going to change, okay? It's always going to be there. But then I might have different elements of my health that I'm focusing on. So I might be focusing on brain clarity and cognitive function. And other times I might be focused on some fitness goals. So different parts of my health, I'm going to have different goals at different times, because I'm not always working on brain clarity. So if I'm really dialed in on that, there might be some really heavy daily habits that I'm working on for that. And then some of those will stay in there long term, and other ones will drop off because it's just when I'm dialing in on that. Is that making sense? Let me give you an example of that. So if that was, say, if I had some big fitness goals, for example, my morning routine might look like really dialing in on movement, specifically, so every day I do a 5-minute morning movement routine every day, regardless, right? But when I'm focused on a fitness goal, that might also include some kind of strength component, extra trigger point, extra recovery, or something like that in my morning routine. My food, my what I'm consuming might also look different. It might look different to whether I'm on a training day or not on a training day, versus, you know, fasting or breakfast times and things like that. So that morning routine is going to look different to when I'm just maintaining fitness. Rather than when I'm maintaining fitness and that I'm just getting up, I'm doing my morning movement, I'm doing my stretches, I'm feeling good, and then I've got my exercises 3 times a week. Cool. So my eating habits are going to look different. What I'm consuming in the morning is going to look different, things like that. It's not going to be as dialed in for fitness. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I usually only focus on one health goal at a time. So I'm not like, I want absolute optimal brain function and I've got this fitness goal at the same time. I'm not working on 2 things like that at the same time. I'm usually only focusing on one specific health goal at a time. So if I want to create more energy, if I'm like, I'm lacking in energy at the moment, I'm focused on having more energy throughout the day. I'm not also focused on brain clarity and fitness goals. I hope that's making sense. So that helps to take away a lot of the overwhelm on our daily habits. But also, when I'm working on those different health goals, parts of them will create the baseline foundation. So that keeps elevating and it becomes easy in flow, and I can step away from the overwhelm. Also, to that, I'm not always focused on a health goal. I can be in maintenance mode where I'm like loving just like doing all of those baseline, dialing in my healthy habits, making sure they feel easy and in flow. Okay, so I'm not always adding in the extra things. Cool. That feel good? Yeah. Okay. All right. And let's finish off excuses. Yeah, we're going there. What excuses do you currently have for not doing the things? So this empowered version of you in January, what is she not doing right now? So where's that gap? Why isn't she doing it? What excuses do you have? Reasons, excuses. Do you currently have for not doing the things? Whether it's movement, exercise, they're 2 different things. So I classify movement as like getting up, moving often, doing things that are healthy movement, like often throughout the day, versus structured exercise. So like a gym session or a yoga session or things like that. Walking is movement, morning stretches, movement versus exercise. Are you not doing those? What about the meal plan, the meal prep, or the eating healthy in general? Are you grabbing, things along the way? What excuses do you have? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it the kids? You know what? A huge portion of my excuses and procrastination disappeared when I stopped blaming my kids and my husband for me not doing the things that I wanted to do. When I stopped blaming my kids for the reason I didn't have enough time and all of these things, or my husband doesn't eat this food, or my kids don't eat. When I stopped blaming my kids and my husband for basically as my main excuse, I managed to take a lot more action. There was a lot less procrastination, a lot more radical self-responsibility that I was able to work through and get things done. So what excuses, struggles, concerns can you foresee over this Christmas holiday period? And let's list some possible solutions. So what can you see, what problems, concerns can you foresee for you So like for me, previously it's been, you know, being around a lot of people that drink a lot, at events and things like that, not being able to say no to alcohol. Years ago, that was definitely a huge thing for me. Is it the food? Is it that if there's a platter there, you just can't, like, feel like you can't not grab something? What is it that you struggle with? What concerns do you have, or what excuses do you feel like you're going to come up with for not doing the things you want to do or for doing those things? If you would like to, feel free to share, or if you want some feedback or some suggestions, drop in the chat box any of those, and we can work through them together. If you feel like, no, I know my excuses and I know pretty damn well what I need to do to overcome them, then I want you to question why you're not doing it as well. So if you know the excuses you have, you know the solution, why haven't you done it yet? Let's make it so freaking easy for you to do. And if that's also the case and you know what you need to do and you haven't done it yet, drop it in the comments if you need accountability. Drop in the comments and let's check in, help you keep accountable. Oh, that's a really good one. If you're on holidays or you're at family, like at family, someone else's house, or you're on holiday vacation in general and not having your usual routines, and not being at home so that you've got the opportunity to do some of those, that's a really good one. Okay, so the lack of routine and structure over the holidays. So if we were to work through this, do you currently have a good routine and structure, and the holidays are going to throw that out? Drop in the comments. Let's work through that one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what parts of that? So you've already got good routines and structure in place, right? So because this is going to look different if you already don't, and you know that's going to throw it out. So you've already got good routines and structure in place, and you know holidays are going to throw it out. What parts of that structure and the routine could you maintain? So what parts of the routine and structure of life is actually, what parts of that that you like or that are highest priority to you, and which of them can you maintain? So sorry, that's two questions. Which ones are the highest priority for you? List those out. Which ones will you be able to maintain? List those out. Or which ones do you just need to be more mindful of? Make sure that you can maintain them. Okay. Because some of them are going to be out of whack. And so some of them we just need to be okay with letting go of. Some of them we will be able to maintain. And some of them we might have to adjust and tweak. Does that make sense? So yeah, morning routine, exercise of some description, perfect. You'll be able to maintain that. Excellent. Journaling, yeah, perfect. You'll still be able to do that. So it might mean that you need to be more conscious. If you're going to be with other people around that holiday season, you might need to be more conscious of stepping away from that environment to make sure you can do that morning routine. Having things ready if you don't want to wake up other people because you're in someone else's house, or you're in, say, an apartment or whatever. So you might need to be a little bit more prepared to make sure that you can keep that morning routine in place. Beautiful. Awesome. And so then the ones we might need to adjust is obviously the meal plan. So the food is a priority for you. and like the exercise wasn't a priority. Okay, so the exercise we can still maintain. We know we can incorporate that. The meal plan. So this is going to be one we need to adjust. So obviously you're going to be out. So whether you are, so it's probably going to look a little bit different if you're on holidays somewhere or if you're actually holidaying with like at a family's house. Does that make sense? Like you're going to your parents for Christmas or something like that. Is there, what elements of the meal plan could you meal plan as such, or could you maintain? Okay, so do you have, if you're going to be with other people, do you have an idea of, so this has always been a big one for me because my family isn't necessarily like eating all the things in the way that we eat. So for me, I've always had to be okay with adjusting this to some extent. So it might be that I really do make that bigger effort with the exercise. I'm okay with saying no to certain things or had to work really hard. And this might look like setting reminders in your phone to just tap into that. So it might be that you've got sporadic reminders or a daily reminder in your phone around lunchtime every day that pops up to say, that pops up and says, you know, mindfully eating or be mindful of the food choices you're making, things like that. And so in some instances, it might be that if you don't have control over like the kinds of food, yeah, perfect. So it might be that you're making better choices with what's available. So if you're out and about, so this is something that has really grown with us over time too. So initially it would be when, and we're a bit like this now, like we hardly ever go out for dinner and things like, I've got 3 little kids, like it's chaos, 3 boys, like it's chaos to go out for a meal. So when we do, a lot of the time I'm like, look, pick whatever you want off the menu, kids, you know, it's whatever you want. Because we hardly ever do it. But over the Christmas season, if you're on holidays, this can add up very quickly. So we are then now generally, and because now it is a lot more ingrained, we're mindful around the choices that we're eating, around the foods that we're eating. So it might be that, yeah, you're more mindful around the actual foods that you're eating. And so you could set a reminder for this if it's something you're struggling with. So you can go every day, there's a reminder in your phone that's just reminding you to choose better, to make better choices. And if you haven't and you get that reminder, you just, oh, yep, okay, for dinner I will. All right. There's no guilt, there's no judgment behind this. All right. So then maintain breakfast, yeah, and probably pick and choose around lunch and mates. Yeah. I find the holidays, we just muddle along, and before you know it, it's time to organize a meal in the head. Yes. Okay. Got that as well, especially for kids. Yeah. Okay. So are there options that you can have that are, so, okay, this, if you're going away like to an apartment or like on a holiday to like a destination, or if you're holidaying with family, having options that are better. So I will have some fave options, and you might have them whether it's in your phone or things like that, that are an easy go-to healthy meal for you. Okay. So for me, this one for like us and my kids might be, and I've got a couple of these that I know if we're on holidays, they're an easy meal for me to whip up. So if you've got a couple of those in your mind, then it's easier that when you get to that moment, you're like, oh, okay, that's all right, I can whip this up. So something like for us, it's things like a butter chicken or something like that, because I use like the Mingles brand seasoning, or like base, which is really healthy, no crap in it. So I'm not doing it from scratch. So I've got like base, chicken, veg, and rice, like super easy. So yeah, exactly. Great. Exactly. Yep. With the kids. So we actually have this one with our kids. So I've got like a butter chicken, which is Cody, my oldest's favorite. It's a super easy, it's a quick go-to. I know everyone's going to eat it. It's easy if I'm like, oh crap, it's 5 o'clock on the holidays and I haven't done dinner, right? Another one for us is nachos, like my middle kid's favorite, nachos. We have like an organic, like a good corn chip. I do some avo. I use the biodynamic Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Avo and some goat's cheese. You could use normal cheese, but I use like whatever, a good quality cheese. And then mince, and again, I use the Mingles taco seasoning. So all I actually have to do is the mince, and then I've just some avo yogurt in a bowl, and we're good to go. So having a couple of really easy ones that you have, so that you have an idea of most of your ones, but then if you do muddling along and then you realize, oh crap, it's dinner time, here you go. We've got easy meals that we can grab ready to go. So yep, have that list ready. The other one is set reminder in your phone in the morning to grab something for dinner. So for us, that can be one for us where it's same thing, where we get to the afternoon and we actually live out of town. So if we're on holidays and we're even at home or weekends and I'm not thinking about dinner, then all of a sudden, usually 4 o'clock because we eat quite early, it might get to like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, what are we having for dinner? It's too late to grab something out of the freezer, and we live a bit out of town. So it's eating takeaway is not ideal for us as well. We've got kids with stuff. Anyway, so for us, I have that morning reminder that's like, hey, grab dinner, or what are you having for dinner? Like you can make it fun. What are you having for dinner? So then it's just like, oh, if I know what we're having for dinner, it's less stressful. I've thought about it. Yep, I've got it. That's it. Write it down. Done. It's out of the mind. You're not thinking about it. I can grab the chicken out of the freezer. It's good to go. Okay, so having a morning reminder that just reminds you to have dinner ready. Cool. Okay, hopefully that was really helpful. And then, yeah, we've got those questions pretty much worked through it. So set realistic and achievable solutions. So have them in place. This is exactly what you're doing now, is the problems that you foresee, the things that you know pop up. So even you might think of like weekends. What are anything that pops up on a weekend that's painful that is going to pop up more often over the holiday season? So have realistic, achievable solutions. And again, whether it's just a list that's up that you know you can just look at. Now, action them, put them in the calendar. So if you're, for example, like with that, for me, I know I'm well stocked up on the Mingles seasonings I don't know if you've got them in New Zealand even as well. So it's a brand that's got no additives. It's just really easy, like recipe bases. Okay. So I'll stock up on those in the cupboard because I know they're an easy grab and go for dinner or lunches or meals, whatever. So whether it's like the butter chicken base, I'm just adding chicken and veg, it's a taco, it's a whatever. Okay, I'm not having to think about using all my seasonings. It's just a grab and go. So I've stocked up on those over the holiday season. That's my action item. So I'm going to add those to the shopping list now, or I'm going to put them, if it's a thing, you're going to put it in the calendar now. If it's earlier food prep for the weeks. So instead of meal prepping on a Sunday, ready for the week ahead, I might meal prep on a Saturday morning or a Friday or whatever, a Tuesday, if that's going to be more achievable for me over the holiday season. So if you need to adjust regular habits. Okay. And now accountability. So if you need accountability, reminders, put them in your phone. Do you need a human accountability? Get that person ready. I'm going to tab over. Awesome. We're to the end. Excellent. So those, you want to get them ready. You want to do that now. And when we do that, when we plan for that, we can feel a lot more confident, a lot more relaxed that we've got options, that we've got things ready to go. So there is absolute chaos happening in my house right now. They have one thing to do. One thing to do. No screaming. Excellent. Okay, so let's recap. I hope that's been really helpful. Any more questions, drop them in the chat. We have a few more moments. Okay, so let's recap. Point 1, what do you want to achieve? Who do you need to be? Number 2, close the gap between where you are now and where you need to be, or where you want to be, who you want to be. Okay, so what needs to happen? What do you need to achieve this? Do you need extra resources? Do you need a cleaner? Do you need whatever, extra resources? Is it a who? Is it a what? Is it a thing? Is it a whatever? What do you need to achieve this? Number 3, foundational healthy habits to create ease and flow. So what are those baseline habits that need to be happening every day? And number 4, excuses, concerns, foreseeable struggles. Let's overcome them now. So you should have that list, have the solutions there ready to go as well. Beautiful. Okay, so let's check. Have you got what you came here for? Why did you sign up for this masterclass? You wanted a clear plan for your health so you can take action, make decisions confidently, adapt easily, and continue to elevate your overall life. You want to be able to jump on amazing opportunities because you have the, oh my God, spelling grammar here, the mental and physical capacity, the time, and the energy. So that's what we want to create. We want to create some ease, some flow, some backup plans here so that we can just cruise on through. And when you get that invite and it's something that you really want to do, you can say yes to it. You want to make more money, have more time freedom without feeling stressed, overwhelmed all the time. So as you head into January, you know, the new business opportunities arise, or the new, fun opportunities arise, whatever it is, you can say yes. You want to put your health somewhat on autopilot so you can wake up feeling energized and rested every day. You're ready for better health, more impact, money, flow, and ease. And you want to be the how behind the wow of your life. You are the CEO of your health. You know what you're capable of achieving. So I hope that you feel a little bit like that now. Okay. And now, from this point, you have 2 options. Option 1, you can keep winging it, keep doing overwhelm or trying to fight overwhelm alone, unclear habits, not enough time, accountability to create a health and action plan and be in the same place in 12 months' time. Or you can build those foundational, sustainable, healthy habits, crystal clarity on the direction and actions, and your ability to adapt those easily, create ease and flow in all areas of your life. Do the work now and put your health somewhat on autopilot. Get to enjoy your health journey. Wake up feeling energized and excited, and you get to feel supported, held, and resourceful. So which option are you choosing? Option 1 or option 2? Now, also to help you combat all of that and some hand holding along the way by me, we are introducing the Powerfully You. So if this is something that you would like to step into, this is an opportunity for you as well. This is the Powerfully You mentorship. So this is a 6-week mentorship that will begin next Monday. So not this Monday, next Monday on the 20th of November. And this will take you through to the 1st of January. So this is going to be that guidance over the holiday season. It's a journey into the most vibrant, energized, passionate version of yourself. So what is it? How does it work? It's 6 modules, weekly Zoom calls. So these modules are not like work, like sit there and you've got to work through all these modules. It's just a way of saying weekly Zoom training. So different ways to elevate your health, and there'll be a different topic each week. So there'll be 6 weeks of a Zoom call. They will be recorded, and there'll be a workbook that goes with those. Again, it's going to be like A4. It's not a whole workbook. It's just a few questions for you to work through. A weekly coach check-in. So at the end of each week, you'll have a resource that you can do that self-check-in. Flick it through to me, and I can help with that as well. So I will support you with that weekly check-in and accountability. And there'll also be a weekly Q&A. So we'll have a private group. There'll be a weekly Q&A and Zoom in that. Now, this will all be recorded. So you can chop and change. You're on holiday. You can chop and change whenever you, or like jump in and watch whenever you need to. And weekly Q&As, you'll be able to jump in, drop in any questions, things you're struggling with along each week. So we can jump in and problem solve them there and then, which is super exciting because gives you that chance to go, okay, I can fix this now, like one simple thing I can do now, and I'm back on track again. You have lifetime access to this course. So all of these weekly trainings you will have lifetime access to. The group will stay open with a supportive online community. You can choose to upgrade to one-on-one live coaching if you desire more support as well. So we will do that at the beginning and at the end. And there'll be workplates, templates, resources, tools. So your weekly self check-in. There'll be a 30-day kind of checklist that you can do as well. So just like an A4, you keep it with you, and it's like your morning, afternoon, daily. So those daily habits, those foundational healthy habits that you'll be able to check off each day. I've created this to be easy to create health, ease, flow over the holiday season, but then you can jump back in and do it again come January and keep elevating your health and wellness along the way. So cool. The investment today is $222. So this is over $1,900 worth of value. And this will be only $222 or $111 a month. So this month and then next. We'll be kicking off the 20th of November. So you'll have a chance to think about that if you want. But I will only be opening this up to 10 people because I am going to be jumping in and it's going to be quite personalized. A lot of hand holding throughout those 6 weeks. So super excited about this. And I would love for you to jump in if you would like to join us. So exciting. Oh, and that was it. So this one is $222. I have the link that I'm going to drop in the comments for all of you. And I will also be sending that out to you via email. So you can jump into that link and click on that to have a look around, have a look at if it feels like a good fit for you. And then also there is a code. So the code for that to get it at the discounted rate is HLB111, which is Healthy Lifestyle Blueprint, if you want to know what the HLB stands for. 111. So you can jump in, and if that feels right for you, if you would like that little bit of extra support over the next 6 weeks, then this is a good fit. But for now, I hope that you got so much value out of today's masterclass. I hope that this has you've got this action plan and it feels easy for you to keep going and to maintain over the holiday season. And I can't wait to hear from you in January to see how you went. Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me live.